What if the biggest story in superhero movies right now isn't Spider-Man crossing $1 billion worldwide? But what happened to DC because of it? As Marvel celebrates one of its biggest box office victories in years, James Gunn is once again defending the performance of Supergirl, explaining why the film struggled while Spider-Man Brand New Day became a global phenomenon. But did superhero fatigue really hurt Supergirl? Or is there a much bigger reason behind the film's disappointing performance? Today, we're breaking down Gunn's latest comments, the comparisons everyone is making between Marvel and DC, and why this debate is becoming one of the most talked about stories in Hollywood. Before we jump in, if you're new to the Woke Watch, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because we cover the biggest Hollywood stories, box office updates, and entertainment news every single day. The conversation surrounding Supergirl isn't slowing down anytime soon. In fact, it's becoming even more intense after Spider-Man. Brand New Day crossed the $1 billion mark worldwide in an incredibly short period of time. While Marvel, Sony, and Disney are celebrating another major box office success, the spotlight has shifted back toward DC Studios, and especially toward James Gunn. Over the past several weeks, Gunn, Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav, Supergirl star Millie Alcock, and writer Anna Nogueira have all addressed the reaction surrounding the film in different ways. Much of that discussion has focused not only on Supergirl's theatrical performance, but also on reports that its digital release has failed to generate the momentum many expected. That has created a much larger conversation about the future of the DC universe. James Gunn isn't just trying to defend one movie anymore. Many fans now see him defending the direction of the entire franchise, and that's understandable when you consider what's coming next. DC still has Clayface scheduled for release in the near future, followed by Man of Tomorrow, while Wonder Woman remains in development with Anna Nogueira still attached as writer, a decision that continues to divide fans after the response to Supergirl. But here's where the discussion takes another turn. During a recent interview, James Gunn once again addressed the constant comparisons between Supergirl and Spider-Man. Brand New Day, making it clear that he believes those comparisons are fundamentally unfair. According to Gunn, comparing the two films ignores the completely different situations surrounding each project. He argued that social media has turned the comparison into a competition fueled by online fandom rather than meaningful analysis. At the same time, Gunn acknowledged that Supergirl has not met expectations during its digital release and admitted he no longer expects the film to recover financially through digital sales alone. That admission immediately caught people's attention. Gunn explained that while the project ultimately fell short financially, he believes several outside factors contributed to those results. Among the reasons he mentioned were what he described as ongoing sexist and misogynistic attacks directed toward the film, along with what he believes is genuine superhero fatigue affecting the industry. He also argued that using Spider-Man's success as proof that superhero fatigue doesn't exist creates a false comparison. In Gunn's view, Spider-Man occupies a unique position in popular culture. He suggested that Spider-Man has a level of worldwide popularity that allows the character to succeed under circumstances that many other superheroes simply cannot. Because of that, Gunn believes Spider-Man shouldn't be treated as the standard by which every other superhero movie is judged. He went on to say that superhero fatigue remains a very real challenge for studios today and believes it played a major role in Supergirl's disappointing box office performance. Gunn also expressed frustration over what he described as the treatment of the cast online. He pointed to the criticism directed at Millie Alcock and other members of the production team, saying many of the comments crossed the line from normal criticism into personal attacks. According to Gunn, seeing Spider-Man's financial success repeatedly used to mock Supergirl only adds to that negativity. For him, the comparison simply doesn't prove anything about the overall health of the superhero genre. But here's where many fans strongly disagree. A growing number of viewers argue that Spider-Man Brand New Day wasn't successful simply because it featured Spider-Man. Instead, they believe audiences responded because they genuinely enjoyed the movie. Supporters of that view point to positive audience reactions, strong word of mouth, and repeat viewings as the biggest reasons behind the film's billion-dollar performance. From that perspective, Spider-Man's popularity certainly gives the movie a strong advantage, but many fans believe that's only one piece of a much bigger picture. At the end of the day, audiences still expect a movie to deliver an engaging story, memorable characters, exciting action, and an experience that feels worth the price of admission. A famous superhero can certainly attract attention, but that attention only lasts for so long. If the movie itself doesn't connect with audiences, word of mouth can change the entire conversation within just a few days. When people genuinely enjoy a film, they recommend it to friends and family. Social media becomes filled with positive reactions, and repeat viewings help push the box office even higher. But when audiences walk away disappointed, that negative buzz spreads just as quickly. That's why many moviegoers argue that long-term success isn't determined by a character's popularity alone. It ultimately comes down to whether the movie delivers an experience people actually want to talk about. And that's exactly why this debate has become so intense over the past several days. The numbers have only made that conversation even louder. One of the biggest talking points online has been the claim that Spider-Man Brand New Day generated more worldwide box office revenue than Superman and Supergirl combined over a similar period. Whether that comparison is completely fair or not is something fans continue to argue about, but there's no denying that it has become one of the biggest topics across social media, YouTube, and entertainment news. For many people, those numbers represent more than just financial success. They highlight the very different positions Marvel and DC currently find themselves in. While Marvel is celebrating another billion-dollar blockbuster, DC continues facing difficult questions about audience confidence and the future direction of its cinematic universe. Naturally, that has placed even more pressure on James Gunn and the leadership team at DC Studios. Even so, Gunn continues standing by his position. Despite the criticism, James Gunn hasn't backed away from his original argument. He continues to insist that Spider-Man's incredible performance shouldn't be used as evidence that superhero fatigue doesn't exist. According to Gunn, Supergirl faced challenges that extended well beyond the movie itself, including the online environment surrounding its release and the growing negativity that developed before many audiences had even seen the film. Gunn also reiterated his confidence in Kara Zor-El as an important part of the future DC universe. He explained that the character will continue playing a significant role moving forward, including her involvement in Man of Tomorrow, while also suggesting that future projects like Wonder Woman will continue taking creative risks instead of simply following audience expectations. Those comments immediately reignited another wave of discussion online. Some fans appreciated Gunn's willingness to stand behind his creative decisions rather than abandoning them after one disappointing release. Others questioned whether doubling down on the same approach is really the best strategy after everything that's happened with Supergirl. Which brings us to the bigger question. Is superhero fatigue actually real? Or have audiences simply become far more selective about the superhero movies they choose to support? That's where opinions begin to split. Some believe the genre has become oversaturated after years of non-stop superhero releases. Others argue that audiences haven't grown tired of superheroes at all. They've simply become much more demanding when it comes to quality. In other words, if a movie delivers a compelling story, memorable characters, emotional stakes, and exciting action, people will still show up in massive numbers. But if a film fails to connect with audiences, no amount of marketing or franchise recognition can guarantee long-term success. That's why many fans believe the next wave of major superhero releases will provide the clearest answer yet. Upcoming projects will show whether audiences are truly experiencing superhero fatigue or whether they're simply rewarding the movies they believe deserve their time and money. One thing, however, seems impossible to ignore. The comparison between Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and Supergirl isn't going away anytime soon. Every new interview, every new box office update, and every new comment from James Gunn only adds another chapter to an already heated debate. So now we want to hear from you. Do you agree with James Gunn that comparing these two films isn't fair? Share your thoughts down below because this debate is far from over.